Like that.
No,
No, not that way.
take them out of the closet.
Okay, good evening, everybody. All the public hearings on Chapter 140 zoning to order. Would you stand for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll ask the town clerk to do the roll call, please.
Councilman Coleman,
Yep.
Councilwoman Allen. Here. Councilman Patton,
Here.
Councilwoman Smith. Here. Supervisor Davis.
Here. First item on our agenda tonight is there are 5 public hearings. The notice, please take notice that the Town of Rochester Town Board has scheduled public hearings on proposed local laws making amendments to Chapter 140 zoning of the Town of Rochester Code to be held September 29th, not 7th, at 6 p.m. at the Harold Lifton Community Center, 15 Tobacco Road, Accord, New York, 12404. 5 public hearings will be held. The respective order of hearings is Local Law O, which deals with Chapter 140-14.2 kennels. Local Law P, which deals with Chapter 140-34 transfer of density rights. Local Law Q, which deals with 140-10 lot development standards. Local Law R deals with 140-15 landscaping standards. Local Law S, which deals with Chapter 140-18 overlay districts, 140-18.1 economic enterprise overlay district, and 140-18.2 historic district overlay district. The above local laws were available for inspection at the town clerk, and they're on the Town of Rochester website. So with that, I'm going to open a public hearing for local law O of 2022, adding a new subsection, Chapter 140-14.2 kennels. Does anyone wish to speak tonight? We have nobody online, and did you receive any written comments? Okay. So we did receive back, did we get town comments on these yet? Yes, we did. We distributed those. Okay. We also received back the county planning board comments, which I will be distributing to you all. I'm kind of collecting them because, as has been our practice with all these zoning laws, we're going to continue these public hearings to a date to be determined. So I'm gathering all that, going to give it to you all at once, feed it to you all at one time. Probably going to be a lot easier that way for all of us. So I'd ask for a motion to hold open public hearing for local law O of 2022 to a date to be determined.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Okay. Next is local law P, Chapter 140-34, transfer of density rights. Is there anyone here wishes to speak on that topic?
I'll just touch on it. The planning board reviewed this, and we felt like it was best to just get rid of the salt there. So it's something for you guys to look into. Just comments back from our board, but it might be time for that one to just go away.
Okay. Any written comments? Okay, nobody online. So I'd ask for a motion to hold the public hearing open for local law P of 2022. A second.
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Next is local law Q 2022. Local law amending Chapter 140 zoning 140-10 lot development standards. Believe this, you had some comments, Mr. Grasso?
I do, when we're ready to open, yeah.
And go right ahead.
So first things first, I think that you guys are doing an unbelievable job on these local laws. This is very mundane stuff between the zoning review committee and you guys. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Clearly under Mike's leadership, we're seeing a lot of very good things going, and that's very important. But on local law Q, there's some concerns. So I don't know if you guys have it in front of you or maybe share it on.
Nope, they do.
I'm on page number 2, item number 5. Is lot development of parcels with land disturbance of 7,500 square feet or greater, inclusive of all structures, access driveways, septics, other land clearance shall require site plan approval. All ag lot development shall be exempt. I don't know if anybody's ever built a house here or developed a lot, but that is impossible for us to do that. Every single person who's holding a building permit would have to come in front of the planning board for site plan approval. Currently, with our regulations and the state's regulations, it is difficult enough to get a building lot out of a 1 acre parcel within the ground septic. It's very, very tight. So I suggest that we strongly relook at that. And I know that as most working members are like yourself, when the problem is presented, you don't want just the problem, you'd like to hear a solution as well. So I like to offer a solution. I think that a 1 acre or less limits of disturbance is adequate, but I also think that it should be required by zoning. If you're in an R1 zoning district, you should clear X amount of space. If you're in an R2 zoning district, you should be able to clear up to X amount of space. Because if you're in an R5 where it's low density, or our proposal of PL10 and AB10 and the things that we're proposing, we need limits on that, right? We don't want anybody to clear cut the whole land. So in my opinion, your housing districts, which I like to call R1, R2, AR3, should have no maximum disturbance up to the zoning district maximum. So if you own 30 acres in AR3, you should only be able to clear 3 acres. Again, if you own 30 acres in AR3, you should only be able to clear 3 acres. If you own 20 acres in R2, you should be able to clear 2 acres. Now, if you're in a subdivision, and that's a whole different story, but if you own a whole plot of land in a less dense district, we need to limit that. But 7,500 is not the number. So I'll leave it to you guys to come up with a number. In my opinion, your housing districts, the hamlet, R1, R2, and AR3 should be at that max. Anything more than that, we should have a number. And it could be 40,000 square feet, 1 acre, 1.5 acres, half the density of what you have, whatever it is, but I'll let you guys come up with something. But that number is, it's not even realistic. If you think about it, you're building a 2,000 square foot house. The septics are sometimes 2,000 square feet, or 4,000, you don't put a driveway. You have no lawn. So that 7,500 number, although you have the right idea, it's just not right. Moving on, I'm on page 4, letter E, number 1, 2, and 3. Minimum lot frontage. Although you guys have the right idea, I think, on how much requirements you're giving for each lot, it's very difficult and for the public to realize what we need or what is required. And I think a standard number across all districts is more adequate. So whether it's 25, whether it's 50, whether it's 75, I don't have a request, but I think it needs to be the same. So you're saying right now that in R1 in the hamlet requires 25, R2, A3, AB3, the business district in AR3 requires 50, and anything larger requires 75. I think you're on the right path, but I think it needs to be one number. Make it 60 or across everything, whatever it is. You guys pick. Okay. Moving on, and I'm on the next page, letter F, which is the flag lots. This is a huge problem. Although I don't like a flag lot either, you guys are pro affordable housing, and without flag lots, affordable housing doesn't exist. People who want to have affordable housing need to break off space off of existing lots. And the only way they can do that is by saying, hey, you have 3 acres in an R1 district. Can I have a piece of that so I can build a house for my family? We have to have flag lots. Now, I realize that in this local law, you're not getting rid of it, but you're constricting it, you're over constricting, in my opinion. The minimum flag lot road frontage for a zoning district shall be specified by 140-10 E 1, 2, and 3. That needs to go away. Make a road requirement of how much space that you have to have on the road frontage, and that's it. I agree with that. You guys put in here, you can't flag a flag lot. I agree with that. Had conversation with some of you in the past about the maximum of 500 feet in length. That's a problem. Although I agree with the 500 feet because you don't want these very long skinny lots and all the houses buried in the back. If you're in an AR3 district, you very well could have to have more than a 500 foot of road frontage in order to get back to the house site in the back. Listen, there's housing market is very slim right now. There's no land to be had. People aren't selling it, and what they are, it's overpriced. In order to get adequate affordable housing, which is our goal, I think, the flag lots need to be less constrained. You have a minimum driveway grade for a flag lot should be 10%. I think that number is a little excessive, but I think maybe it shall not exceed a certain percentage because some parts of flag lots do have various terrain that will make the lot increased at one time and then flatten out at other times. On number 11, we talked about the right-of-way. I think getting rid of right-of-way altogether is a good idea. If you're going to have a flag lot, you should have your own access points. It shouldn't be on road maintenance agreements. It shouldn't be on shared driveways. If you're trying to reduce curb cuts, fine. But now you're opening up the town for more review by our legal counsel, for them to review the RMA, and I think that we have enough going on, so that's probably not necessary. Number 14, where it says no more than one flag lot shall be created from existing parcel. I think that should be limited to districts, zoning districts larger than AR3. So R1, the hamlet, R2, and AR3, you should be able to flag a flag because sometimes there's no other option in order to get a building lot. I think in R5 and the larger zoning districts, it's not necessary. I'm on number 14. You guys lost me. And I think that's all I have. But just keeping in mind, I understand we don't want clear-cut lots, but in order to do so, to have a building lot, and we can, I would say that if we had a town planner right now, we could see what they say regarding how much limits of disturbance we want on each lot. But it probably is worth the conversation to reach out to an engineer gratis and just say, hey, how much space do you need to make a building lot? What's your limits of disturbance? I know that for a 1,350 square feet double wide with a 150 foot driveway, an in-ground septic and a well, you need an acre. And anything under an acre, it's very tight to that. So that's my input on local law here. And sorry if there was a lot there, Kate, I can send you notes if you do. All right.
No, we got it. Thank you very much. Appreciate the comments. Anyone else wish to speak? Nobody online? No written comments? Okay. So I'd ask for a motion to hold public hearing for local law Q open at a date to be determined.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, local law R, which is amending chapter 140 zoning, section 140-15 landscaping standards. Anyone wish to speak? Okay. No written comments? We are on stuff. So I'd ask for a motion to hold the public hearing open for local law R 2022. Have a second.
I'll second.
You could just like put straws in the middle and you guys can just draw and see who gets the short one.
There's a competition happening.
Yeah.
I
just don't know
prefer
it.
the dirty ones.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I did that motion to hold it open to, yeah, okay. It was like for a second, I outsmarted myself. Next is
I'll make that motion.
Not that so simple. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. With that, I'd ask for a motion that we close the public hearing portion of the meeting. And then we will resume with the audit meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.